Hey, good morning, guys. It's about 8:07 in the morning on this Wednesday. I do apologize if I sound a little hoarse. Fortunately, I think I may have caught something, hopefully not too bad, at work. Not because of my fellow employees or anything like that, but because of customers, kids, some of the adults, that pass through that, don't, kind of acknowledge the fact that, oh, we need to cover our mouths or something like that because I think, let's be honest, they want to pass the germ off to people so they don't have it, but, maybe that's just an opinion. Maybe that's not entirely true, but hey, you got to watch with who you're around because, people might end up getting it or something. But yeah, I usually get something like this almost every time of the year, around this time anyway, to where, I'm still actively going, but it's my voice, it's my voice and my, sinuses that are kind of acting up a little bit, cold, basically. Well, basically, that's what it is, it's a time of year where we get a cold and all that, so. And speaking of cold, unfortunately, right now, unless it fixes itself, the heater that is here in our home, this thing above me that you could see, apparently is on the fritz. Now, what I mean by that is it still works. It'll go on when you need it to go on, but only when you reach to a certain temperature. My mom basically is frustrated with the fact that, when we set it to 78 or 78 or 80, that, it'll take time to go on. Like, it'll go on, and then it won't stay on for long. But if you go a little higher, it'll go on almost automatically. And in her mindset, her mindset is, that shouldn't be the case, and it should go on wherever we set it, which is true. It should. It should go on, wherever we set it and stuff. So, anyway, yeah, that's kind of a nuisance. I mean, it worked for me yesterday morning. It worked for her yesterday morning. And, yeah, it's a bit of a nuisance that it's acting up right now. But there could be several reasons. It could be several reasons, like like, for example, yesterday we had rain for the first time in a while, a lot of rain along with some wind. So that might have caused an issue, like some rain might have gotten into the system and, may have short-circuited something. It has to take time to dry out and stuff. It has to take time to dry out, because, the wind kind of pushed it maybe in that direction. I'm not saying it's a fact. It might be the breaker. We're not really sure. That might be it. It might be something else that we've been told could be an issue, but we're not entirely sure. Now, for my mom, I can tell you this honestly, she's going to definitely have to drink a lot of coffee and caffeine today at work because even though she rested a little bit on the couch, one of the last things she did, along with me, before she went to bed is try to figure out, okay, what's up with this heater? Why won't it work? Why won't it, give us hot air correctly and stuff? And, she has a right to think that. And we tried everything, even putting in new batteries, reversing the batteries, stuff like that. But, nothing happened, period. Nothing really happened, except the fact that it would go on. It would go on, but not the way it's supposed to. Like, in other words, as I mentioned, it would go on just temporarily. It would go on temporarily and stuff, and it would be a massive, massive issue for us because, it would only emanate like cold air and stuff, and, after like maybe a few minutes, yeah, it would emanate hot air. It would emanate hot air a little bit, but not much. It was mostly cold air with the hot air. So that was frustrating for Mom and myself. So later on today, what I got to do is email the people that we pay rent to on a monthly basis and let them know, hey, we need somebody to come out here ASAP, as soon as you can get them and everything to look at this system, this heating system, because of the fact that it shouldn't be, acting up the way it's acting. It shouldn't be that's better. It shouldn't be acting up the way it is. We should be able to get heat automatically. And again, it could be, like I said, it could have been the rain. We're not entirely sure. It could have been the rain. And, when my mom started it up, it's when she first, like I said, first noticed something was wrong. So, to me, it could be the rain. To be honest, I think it has done it before, but I can't really be for certain. So we'll just have to, see what happens when they come out here. Hopefully, my mom's hoping that they would come out today, but I don't think that's going to be possible because the next day off I have is on Sunday, and the next day off she has is Saturday and Sunday as well. So, it's one of those situations to where, if they come out today, that would be great because this is my last Wednesday off for a while, as far as I know, because starting next week, with next week's schedule, I'm going to be doing Monday through Friday and having Saturday and Sunday off, at least for the next 2 to 3 weeks. A week from this Saturday I'll be off, then 2 weeks from this Saturday I'll be off, and then maybe the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend I will be off, but we'll see. But yeah, that is definitely not something that any of us want to go through right now. I mean, it's very similar to what happened with our cooling system in Patterson, where basically we had to call upon a friend of my sister's and my brother-in-law's to come down and fix it for a lot cheaper than the guy that was originally supposed to come down, that was always meant to come down, would have charged. And it saved us money, it saved our landlord money, but I think it also may have been the catalyst, like the kickoff start, if you will, to us having to move out and, be over here in Newman, which is a blessing, which was disappointing, but also a blessing, if you will. But besides that, outside of that, not really much going on else around the house. But when it comes to work, I can tell you this honestly, when it comes to work, that's a whole different can of worms because out of the 4 out of 5 days that I worked, because I worked Friday, I worked basically the schedule I'm used to working as of right now, which is ending this week. But I worked mainly, if you look at it from a 5-day schedule deal, over the past 4 to 5 days, they've been really interesting, if you will. And I'll tell you why. Because we all know it was Halloween weekend this past weekend, right? Well, yeah, basically Halloween weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and of course, because it fell on a Monday, the 31st, Halloween itself. And I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, this has been one of the more stranger Halloween weekends I have ever been a part of when I've worked in retail. I mean, not even working for Walmart have I ever dealt with something like this, period. And that's the truth. Not even working for Walmart, excuse me, have I ever dealt with something like this, period. Or seen anything like this. And I'm not saying it happened, and maybe I wasn't there because I might have been off. But as far as I know, to tell you guys the truth, I have never ever seen a lot of strange things going on. One major strange thing that came this close to costing a co-attendee their job, but thankfully it was decided, from what I understand, to just get them retrained, is she fell victim. Is what she did. She fell victim. She became another victim of this lady that comes into the store and buys a whole bunch of, I'm assuming, just based on the way the design, and you can tell which ones are which, based on the design. Basically this lady would come in, and she's had a history, from what I understand from those that have been there longer than me. This lady has a history of coming in and purchasing over so many $100 Visa gift cards. Now, it's understandable maybe if you purchase, two of them at most, right? 2 or 3 at most. And sometimes it's understandable if you purchase, a variety of them, but not that many, like 2 or 3. Like you're purchasing a $100 gift card, Visa gift card, and then to accompany it, you're purchasing a $50 Visa gift card. Well, this lady apparently had a history and a tendency to purchase multiple, or want to purchase simultaneously basically at the same time, multiple Visa gift cards of the $100 range. And this, like I said, nearly cost my fellow co-attendee, associate, employee, their job. Thankfully, like I said, it was decided they just need to be retrained. And what I'm believing is going to happen is that's going to lead to all of us being retrained as well. Because if it happens to one, and that person, is and the decision is to have that person be retrained on the matter, then the domino effect is everybody else is going to have to do the same thing, which I would assume is probably a good thing as well. It kind of gives us a refresher as to what's going on, and does have us properly, prepared to, see the signs or spot the kind of people that are notable for doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, this lady, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm on let's say for example, the fridge here is register 9. So here I am at register 9. And over here, where this plant is, right here, this plant, if you can see it, is, actually not where the plant is, but where the Passover sign is, or the Passover picture, which I got my mom at the Apricot Fiesta this year, is at. So let's say, it's right here, right? Like right where the printer is, okay? This is where register 8 was. This is where the fellow attendee of mine was at. And what happened is I'm over here on 9. Doing my job and everything, checking out people. And my line's getting a little bit more busier, a little bit more longer. Because a lot of people that were in register 8's line had to move over to my register and to other registers close by. Because this lady, like I said, who from what I understand has a history of doing this kind of stuff, basically was causing an issue. She was causing an issue to the point that management had to get involved, team leaders had to come up and get involved, And this lady apparently, knowing how to work the system, got what she wanted. She got what she wanted. She was able to basically get away with purchasing more than she could or was legally allowed to purchase. Now, I don't know if maybe this lady is part of some kind of scam or something to where she does this, and not just at our store, but other stores, so that way she could, sell them online and get people's information. I don't know. Or I don't know if this lady is from out of country and she still hasn't grasped the fact that you cannot do this kind of stuff in the United States. That maybe it's okay where she came from, like whether that's Mexico or wherever, or Korea, Vietnam, wherever. And I say that with all due respect, no offense. Like maybe it's okay in those parts of the world, but it's not okay here. So I don't know if maybe that's what's going on, that maybe it's still a cultural misunderstanding. I don't know. Basically a mistranslation, if you will. I don't know. But yeah, apparently this was not the first time, according to one of the people that have been working there longer than me. Because according to the guy that was working there longer than me, who's like in his mid to late 60s, a little younger than my mom, he basically said, and he basically told me, I should say, that he's dealt with her before and that she's caused trouble for him. And that now he's kind of in a situation to where if he deals with someone like her again, or deals with her again, period, and she complains once more, he could lose his job. End of discussion or something like that. Because she seems to know how to work the system. So that kind of tells me that this is not like a culture. So that tells me basically, and that kind of rules out basically that this is not a cultural mistranslation. That this lady knows the deal. She knows what's going on. She just don't give a damn, and she's just doing this to make money elsewhere. In some capacity without doing what a lot of us have done and go out and get a job. And, it's not that hard to do, honestly. It's not that hard to do. But yeah, that was strange. And like I said, it nearly cost my fellow associate attendee her job, which thankfully it did not. Thank the Lord on that. But the craziness doesn't end there. The craziness does not end there, be honest with you. Because, with any job, you're going to have customers complain, right? You're going to have customers complain. And I've had numerous customers already complain about me. To the point that even my ETLs are like, I have no idea why they would say that or why they would bring that up. I have no idea. But yeah, I've had people complain about me. Like about a month or two ago, I had my my main front ETL, if you will, or my front team leader, my FTL, my main one. She talked to me twice. She talked to me, well, not twice, but she talked to me about 2 complaints. And basically you could tell that she was like, she had to do her job. I understand that. She had to do her job. I understand that. But even she was like a little confused, like, what I'm about to talk to him about or tell you about, with these complaints is a little confusing, a little weird. But basically she told me about somebody that complained about me and something I did on a Saturday that I worked. I think it was a Saturday. And I looked at her and I was like, I don't even know what he's talking about. And she's like, I don't know either. I wasn't here. You were. So I don't know. And again, I'm like, I have no idea what she's talking about. And then she talked to me about a complaint she got that very day. And just like I said, this is about a couple months ago. And about, me being slow. And she basically just brushed that one off because she was also on the register because there was very few of us doing the job, cashiering. There's very few of us cashiering, and she knew that because she had to be on a register too. I was like, it was like from almost the only thing I could recall about that day is it was almost felt like it was an hour or so that, well, it didn't feel like an hour, but it felt like it, that I was the only one there and we had to call upon help. And my FTL, my front team leader, had to also hop on. So she saw with her own eyes I was doing as best I can. So she brushed that one off. But if that's not enough, ladies and gentlemen, if that's not enough, get a load of this. Get a load of this. So, yesterday, I'm doing my job, right? I'm finally focusing, getting my job done, doing what I have to do, stuff like that. And I'm told by the lady that's in charge of self-checkout for that time that I need to go see our new ETL guy. Now, the team leaders are the front of drive up and all that, drive up, pick up, cashiering. They're still the same. It's still the same three ladies as when I got hired. They're just doing other things now. So one of the ladies that's still up there, she used to do scheduling. Well, now she's handed that off to this new guy. And thankfully, he's going to work with me on my scheduling with the bus and all that and what have you. Anyway, long story short, yesterday, like I said, I was doing my job. And everything. And, I'm trying to, keep myself busy. I tell the lady that's running self-checkout, that basically is the one that assigns us to go to what registers, either it's to relieve a break or just hop on one so that they have enough people there. She asked me if I want to, just do, reshop, which is Target's terminology for go backs, because that's what we used to call them in Walmart, go backs and everything. So she asked me if I want to do some reshop, basically go to the registers and pick up any reshop that's around there, under the cash, under the registers, because we have these little storage areas with these little containers, basically gray totes, tubes, if you will, or red boxes. Anyway, I said, sure, I'll do that. And I'm also keeping an eye over at Register 9 thinking, okay, I'm going to have to hop on there eventually because I can see we're going to get a little bit more busier. Also, the fact that my front team leader that I mentioned earlier, wants to make sure that, we're still putting the customers first. So, not to, probably chance the fact that she'll walk out wondering, hey, why aren't you on there? I decided to, as soon as I start seeing we're getting a little busier or the lines are getting a little long, not too long, I decided to hop onto 9 and start checking people out, which is my job, which I'm hired and paid to do. Anyway, excuse me. Anyway, after my second to last customer that I'm checking out, the girl that, like I said, is assigned to watch self-checkout and assign people to the registers to give breaks or just to hop on to make sure we have enough people. She tells me that the new guy that's doing the schedule, the only other male front team leader, there's another guy as well that comes in around 3:30. He's kind of front ETL too. So he and this other guy that I'm mentioning are the only males that I know of. So I'm told to go to the office of our HR lady, where basically, one of the HR offices, basically, in the new location, to talk to the guy. And I'm thinking, okay, what did I do? Now, like I said, This guy is basically the one that's doing the scheduling now too. He's basically taking the responsibility of scheduling people off of one of the ladies that used to do it as well, who's still up there, but she doesn't do it as much. So I talked to him. He's kind of basically now in charge of the cashiers and all that, along with the other ladies. But he's like now the primary person to talk to if something is complained about somebody. He's the main person in charge of that area. Like the other ladies are there, they can still take it upon themselves to talk to you as well if something comes up. But he's like the main guy. Anyway, to get to the point, because I know I'm dragging this out, I do apologize. Basically, basically after my second to last customer, I'm told, like I say, about a lady that's running self checkout. The new guy, the new ETL manager, wants to talk to you, and I'm thinking, okay, what did I do? Because I know I didn't do anything wrong. I did my job. So I go in there, he shuts the door, or I shut the door, I talk to him, and it's not that long of a talk because he's telling me that he got a complaint from a lady that I guess I had checked out. That they got a complaint, he got a complaint basically from somebody that I checked out. That basically, according to the lady that called and complained about me, they said that I was picking my nose. And I'm thinking, what the F? I'm like, WTF, excuse me? Now, I didn't say that in front of him, but the first thought that went to my mind was, what the WTF? Because he told me, and I said, look, I don't know what that person's talking about because I never did it. I never did anything. I would know. I said, I've never done that. And he said, well, I understand that, but I got to also hear it from you. Because he's basically saying, look, I'm not playing favorites or anything, but I got to hear it from both sides. And I told him, look, I would know. I would know if I would have done something like that. But I didn't do it. I did not do that. So, yeah. Basically this person decided to call up and complain about the fact that I was picking my nose when I know I wasn't. I mean, what the fridge? I mean, that is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. I mean, not even when I worked at Walmart did I get a complaint like that. Not once. Not once did I work at Walmart did I get a complaint like that. But here, for some odd reason, I do. It's like, what is going on, man? What is going on? I mean, I'll tell you, strange. The past 4 days have been the past 4 to 5 days at work have been strange. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, and to top it all off, okay. So, on Sunday evening, I went on my phone here, and I booked Lyft for Monday evening. I booked it for about 7:05, 7:10, right? Between 7:05 and 7:15 to pick me up from work, take me to my older sister's. Well, I go to check my phone, thinking, okay, I'm going to see a notification saying my driver's on the way. Nope. The ride I was supposed to have flaked on me. It canceled on me. So I'm thinking, okay, fine. This has happened once before. I'll just rebook it another ride. That didn't happen either. Because if there's one thing about these Lyft and Uber apps when you're booking rides, If there's one thing about them is, they need to make it, perfectly clear. They need to make it perfectly clear. All right. They need to make it perfectly clear that you're going to have to work holidays and that you cannot turn down anybody that needs a ride. You need to make that sacrifice. But anyway, like I said, I've been here before. So just like before, I rebooked for another ride. And it looked like I was going to get that ride, but then it said, "Oh, can't do it. Person, a person is basically too far away. We're trying to find somebody closer to you." That's basically what they said. They were going to try to find a driver closer. Okay, fine. I figure, okay, I'll wait. So they tell me a time frame. They give me a time frame of 6 to 15 minutes or whatever. So I wait for a duration of that. It says it's booked, but then they say, you know what, try again in a few. After waiting the time that they give me, they tell me, try again in a few. And I'm like, you SOBs. So I decide, okay, log out of Lyft, clear up the phone a little bit. You go to the bottom and it says close the apps, reopen it and rebook again. And that's what I did. And just when it looked like I was going to finally get, a ride, once again, Lyft comes up with the message, we're going to find somebody closer by. Give it time. Here's your duration time. And once again, it says, everybody is busy with passengers. Try again in a few. So, long story short, I had to get my mom and my brother-in-law to come and get us, or come and get me from work, because I decided, okay, I finally got the second booking for a Lyft ride confirmed, looks more positive, so I decided I'm not going to take the 7-Eleven bus, which is the last bus of the evening. So, yeah, that was a mistake on my part, and as a result, my mom and my brother-in-law had to come get me, because Lyft, obviously doesn't live, because places like Lyft and Uber obviously don't want to let their drivers know that, hey, if you're going to work with us, you got to get the passengers that are booking. You cannot just flake on them because of this reason or that reason. I mean, I understand. If you have kids, you want to go trick-or-treating with them. I get that. I get that. If you want to go trick-or-treating with them, I get that. Sorry, I don't know what happened. My phone basically decided to stop the recording. But like I said, if you got kids and you want to go trick-or-treating with them, I understand that. But I think what really was more concerning was the fact that when they show you the map of where the person's coming from and everything, they show you the map. I'm guessing it's because of where they were coming from, they decided to change their minds or something. I don't think it had anything to do with, the payment issues or anything like that. Because honestly, I've had situations to where I've had to basically, and this is the absolute truth, I've had to basically overdraft just to have a Lyft ride. I have. I've had to overdraft just to get a Lyft ride. But again, it was just the icing on the cake, I can tell you that. Just the icing on the cake. So yeah, very, very strange 4 out of the 5 days, or these past 4 out of 5 days for me at work when it comes to my job and everything. Because of the fact of all these situations happening. Just very strange indeed. But what are you going to do? You work in retail, what are you going to do, right? But I'll be honest, I'll be honest, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I'm just happy to be working. I'm just happy to be working and everything, so I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. But anyway, yeah, besides that, not really much more going on. Like I said, right now, as far as my channel goes that you're watching this on, I have basically until 25 days from now to reapply for my monetization, and hopefully it'll be okay. Because I kind of worked out, I think, what the issues were. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to reapply and get back to making some money off this channel. Because right now, a lot of the videos I've got going lately have been hitting their stride, and this couldn't be a better timing for it to happen. You know what I'm saying? To make money anyway. But just wanted to come on here and do this little vlog. Again, I do apologize for the video interrupting the way it did, ending the way it did, so I had to resume here. But give me your thoughts overall in the live chat and in the comments below. Like the video. Check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmart-2, Cash App at BWRoses98. Support me at patreon.com/BWRoses is the $1, $3 tier. Also check me out at VENMO at BW Roses for content you can't get here on YouTube. Check out the BW Roses podcast, audio podcast, at all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora, and that is BW Roses Discussions Podcast, and all your favorite audio podcast locations except for Pandora. Also, check out the Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else, especially in time for Christmas. We have some new merch there, so check that out if you like. And also check out the Deviant page as well at BVW1979. And really, that's about it, guys. I do apologize for my voice. If it sounds a little hoarse, like I said, I caught something. Again, this is what happens when you work in retail. If it's not your fellow associates, it's going to be the customers and the kids. So I do apologize for that. I'm going to try to get better and everything. It's not too bad. It just feels like my voice is going a little bit. Hopefully, it's nothing major. But, you know, because again, like I said at the beginning, I get this almost every year around this time anyway. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say, guys. And until next time, I will talk to y'all later. Peace out. God bless.